Hey folks, my name is Jen, and today we're checking in with those seasonal vibes again. What has summer been like over here? So, as per usual, talking about the summer vibes, I will be talking about things relating to the five senses. So, what I've been listening to, watching, doing, taste, and any sense of the seasons. So first up, we'll talk about listening. What have I been listening? I usually listen to a lot of different music and podcasts and everything like that. As far as podcasts go, I have been doing a lot of listening in the spooky vein of things. I discovered a new podcast, I think, at the start of the summer, or it's like a new-ish. It's been around for a little bit. It is called My Victorian Nightmare. I love this podcast. I'm actually currently doing a little bit of a re-listen while I work on some crafting projects, just because it's like a super chill thing to listen to, and it's also really fascinating. This is a podcast that focuses on the Victorian era and talks about different aspects of that era and like different events and things around that. There's been an episode on Mary Shelley, there's been an episode on Edgar Allan Poe, episodes on like different important figures or important like mysterious supernatural or murder cases and like true crimey stuff. The host also, especially lately, has taken to sharing bits and pieces of the Illustrated Police news, which was really sensationalized a lot of the times during the Victorian period. And she'll also do like seance-y stuff, so like real ghost stories that were reported in like the police news and varying newspapers. And then she'll talk about especially lately, she's been like, hey, what did the spiritualist like articles and stuff like that talk about back then, because that was like huge in the Victorian period. And she'll do all of that. And she also talks about like cultural things in the Victorian period, like their obsession with death and funerals and stuff like that. So it's been very interesting to listen to. I really love it, and I think the host is like so cool, and she's also a little bit witchy, so it's like she's just really fun to listen to. She also has a very chill voice. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that podcast. I'm still listening to Podmortem. That is still a favorite of mine. Summarizes and kind of talks about horror movies. So that's still something that I listen to. I listen to my brother and me, like, all the time. I was a little bit behind in A Date with Dateline, which is a true crime comedy-ish podcast. It's like summarizing Dateline episodes. So I have gotten back into listening to that one. And then I have also trying to bounce around and listen to different podcasts. I'm finding that the Victorian era has become a pet interest for me, so I'm like seeking out other things to learn about that. Currently trying to catch up with Real Life Ghost Stories, which is one of my favorite podcasts. The host Emma shares everybody's listeners write in, and then she also does horror movie reviews, and she will pick a supernatural topic and we'll focus in on that, which is a lot of fun. So I've been catching up on that one as well. As far as like actual music and things go, I have my constants. Sleeping with Sirens, still in that moment. Listening to that a lot. Yellowcard released yet another song not too long ago from their upcoming album that comes out this fall. And so I've been listening to the couple of songs that they have released. Also, The Midnight. Did I talk about them in the spring maybe? They have like this kind of synthy 80s feel to their music, and I don't know, it just feels like the perfect background music for when you're like doing stuff, whether it's being productive or working or driving in the car or anything like that. It's very chill. and I really like the whole soundscape of the whole all of the music, and it just feels like the perfect kind of summertime adventurous sound, really. Other summery stuff I've been listening to, America and Kansas. I have listened to more of them lately. I've never really done a deep dive on either of them before. I just knew like their most popular songs, or a couple of their most popular songs that are played on the radio quite frequently or might be in movies and stuff like that. And recently I felt like doing an actual not a full complete dive, but at least listening to more of their discography. And I really enjoyed, especially the band America. I really like a lot of their music. And actually, surprisingly, had heard a lot more of America and Kansas than I had thought that I had. Other music that just kind of feels like summery stuff that I like revisiting, Paper Kites. I think they are the perfect like summer soundtrack. They're very like chill and bright. A lot of their music is very bright. And then Group Love, I was a big fan of them several years ago, and I've only listened to like the one album pretty much over and over and over again, and I've been trying to expand and listen to more of their music. And I still really love it, and I think they really sound like they have a summer vibe to them, like their music overall. And then a couple of new bands that I started listening to because I found them randomly. I was listening to other kind of like playlists on Spotify and stuff. I started listening to The Beaches because I think I heard their music in the back of a reel that I saw, and I loved it and started looking them up, and I'm really liking what I've listened to them so far. And then also Frightened Rabbit. Found that I also really like their music and have been listening to a lot of that as well. And then Hayley Williams of Paramore fame has released a new solo album. I hadn't realized that she had a solo career already. I only knew her from Paramore, and my sister's like a huge fan of Paramore and of Hayley Williams, so she let me know about this new album that came out, and I am fucking loving it. True Believer, perfection. Love it. Brotherly Love, also high up there, really like it. I think that's pretty much it for listening. Moving into watching. Started out the summer trying to catch up on NCIS. At this juncture, I am mostly caught up with NCIS, actually. I'm caught up with what Netflix currently has. I am 2 episodes away from being completely caught up with what Netflix has. I'm going to try to see if I can find the other seasons, because this is several seasons back from where the show currently is, or is the show currently ending? I don't know. From the images I've seen of the current cast, there's only like 1 or 2 people that were part of the original cast that are still around. Everybody else is gone, so crazy. But whatever. Started the summer off really into that, and trying to catch up, and yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with that anyway. Dark Winds, I think I talked about them in my spring vibes maybe. I've still been kind of watching that, but I have taken a pause in it. But I really love that show. I love the aesthetic, the storyline, the soundtrack, the characters. I'm loving that show a lot. Other than that, are there any other shows I've been watching? Poirot. I have been watching Agatha Christie's Poirot here and there. I actually have an episode up right now that I was watching earlier, and my goal is to try to get through all of Poirot, because I also want to tackle all of the Miss Marple, and then there are some other like British cop shows or mystery shows that I'd really like to dive into too, but I kind of want to finish all of like the Agatha Christie stuff first before I dive into everything else. As far as anything else goes, anime. I've actually been watching more anime lately. I've been kind of off and on watching The Great Blue. is it the Great Blue something? The Great, I don't know. It's the Great Blue anyways, and it's about these college kids and their shenanigans. They're part of like a diving club at the school, and a lot of them are trying to get like their diving license, scuba diving licenses and stuff like that. And it's I mean, there's a lot about diving and stuff, but there's also a lot of just buck wild shenanigans between all of them. That is absolutely hilarious. So I've been kind of watching, but kind of not. This is very much a show that my husband and one of his friends has been watching. So, but I've kind of hopped in here and there, and it is honest. It's fucking hilarious, quite honestly. And then the other one that he and I have kind of been watching together is called Cultural Exchange with a Game Center Girl, and it is about a young British girl. She's like a middle schooler, and I guess her dad, I think, has had a transfer from England to Japan, and so her family has moved there, and she doesn't really know that much Japanese, but she loves video games, and she's end up at this like arcade, like game center, and bumps into this older teenage boy who works there, and there's like a miscommunication between the two. He is just trying to be nice and cheer her up because she's sad she can't win something in like this game, so he gives her something, but not quite understanding, but not quite having a full grasp, I guess, on English, and her not having a full grasp on Japanese, and both of them having differences in cultures, how Valentine's Day is handled, because Valentine's Day is the day that they're both at this game center. He gives her something from the arcade, just trying to be nice and courteous and stuff like that, because he is also an employee of the arcade. And and the way he phrases things, she takes it to mean he's interested in her, and she thinks he's cute and also kind of becomes interested in him because she mistakes it for, oh, Valentine's Day. Because Valentine's Day in America, and I guess also in like England, Valentine's Day, giving gifts on Valentine's Day, I guess is a little bit different culturally than what it is like in Japan. I mean, you would give presents to someone you're interested in and stuff like that, but it's also there's also like something called obligation chocolate and stuff like that, which is what you give to your friend group and like very specific people that you're kind of close with or whatever, and it doesn't necessarily have any, it's like platonic relationships too. It's not necessarily like romantic stuff, whereas I think in the Western world we tend to be a little more of the romantic vein for Valentine's Day, even though there is such a thing as like Galentine's Day, or maybe your parents or grandparents will send you chocolates or something like that. It's mostly a romantic holiday. So there's this like miscommunication there, and things are crazy. So they start communicating more and using this journal to pass back and forth with each other to kind of translate into English and Japanese and stuff like that, to kind of learn each other's languages, but also communicate with each other. She's very much interested in him. He realizes how young she is, and it's like, oh shit, this is awkward. Shenanigans ensue. It is not anything inappropriate though. There is like that age gap which makes things a little bit awkward. I don't remember how old exactly he is supposed to be, but she is like 13 or 14, and I think he's supposed to be like 16, 17, so there is like that age gap type of thing, which is not great, but it's been pretty wholesome overall. It's been very kind of funny and very wholesome overall. They're both really awkward. She is very much interested in him. He is kind of like a little bit overall. So it's like nothing untoward has happened is what I'm talking about. It's just a very kind of wholesome show, but there's a lot of cute and silly misunderstandings and miscommunications and stuff like that going on. So we've been kind of watching that. I've been trying to catch up in YouTube videos, and then my husband and I have also been doing like movie nights. We've been watching some Alfred Hitchcock because he took a class on Hitchcock when he was in college, and I've previously had only ever seen like North by Northwest, so I hadn't really taken a deep dive into any Hitchcock movies. So we watched Rear Window, which I absolutely fucking loved. I had visceral reactions to that movie. I loved everything about it. I loved the way it was filmed. I loved the aesthetics of everything. I loved the being nosy. I loved the little bit of investigations and like crazy shit that I loved the whole thing. It keeps you guessing. I loved it. I loved it. And I also really loved Jimmy Stewart. I love Jimmy Stewart, so I love him in most every movie that I've seen him in. He is wonderful. And Grace Kelly, I don't know if I've seen her in that many videos, but my god, that woman was gorgeous. What the fuck? And then we also watched Vertigo, which is another Jimmy Stewart movie. I actually did not like that one that much. I started out liking it, but the ending pissed me off to no end. I was so angry. I fucking hated it. I was so angry, which I know is probably controversial because I know it's like a classic, but I fucking hated the ending. I much prefer Rear Window, to be completely honest. Then we also watched some silly movies. We have been watching like silly things here and there based on like comedians that we really like. So we were talking about like Gene Wilder, and he also made several videos. He was friends with and made several videos with Richard Pryor, and I've only ever seen one other movie with Richard Pryor in it before, and then I've seen like some of his stand-up. So just seeing the two of them together, fantastic. We watched See No Evil, Hear No Evil, which was fucking ridiculous, and we had a great time watching that. I think some of it is maybe doesn't quite hold up so much, but then the rest of it is like, for the most part, I think it could be touted as something that is making fun of people, but I don't think that's really was the point of it. I think it wasn't done with the intention of being particularly harmful. I think at the end of the day, it's making more fun of people who think people with disabilities are stupid than it is making fun of people with disabilities. It's making more fun of the jerks of the world, rather. And then we also have been talking about like John Candy and Leslie Nielsen. So we want to do some more watching of Leslie Nielsen movies because we discovered that both of us really love them. But for a John Candy movie, we decided to watch one that neither of us had ever seen before, and it was The Great Outdoors, and it also has Dan Aykroyd in it. And let me tell you guys, I have never laughed as hard as I have laughed in the last like 10 minutes of that movie. Like, it was so stinking funny. There's a payoff for a joke that was just, I don't even know. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. Like, fucking fantastic. Great bonkers ass movie. And then what else did we watch? Oh, Aliens. Because several months ago we'd ended up watching Alien for the first time. Both of us fucking loved it. We decided to finally get around to watching the second one, and we really love that too. It's awesome how it went from like a sci-fi horror movie to still more of a horror, but also like an action movie, and it was fucking great. I love Sigourney Weaver. Just fantastic. Loved the movie, thought it was so great, and now I'm kind of torn between a couple of Halloween costumes that I want to do, and one of them is Ripley. Just saying. Let me see. Anything else that I watched? Oh, yes. I started watching I came across these like reels, and I started watching them, and I'm now hooked to watching all of these videos. They are by Peculiarly Ashley, and she does creepy miniatures, and she will take like varying items that I guess she finds places. Like she either has them kicking around her house, or she finds them in, like, I guess yard sales or thrift stores or online or whatever like that, and then she kind of takes them apart or uses parts of them to put creepy miniatures into them. She also does like these Matchbox miniatures that are always creepy, and I'm loving the vibe of it. Like, I'm loving miniatures anyway, and it's something that I've been kind of interested in, especially lately, and something I've been trying to like play around with, and I've just been honestly loving it. Like, she is so quirky and funny, and I love the little stories she tells while she like makes these little scenes and stuff like that. And I'm also just loving the ingenuity and the craftiness and just everything about it. So it's really been inspiring me to get more into crafting miniatures and stuff like that, which I guess will bring me into my doing, things that I've been working on. I've been crafting a little bit. I started working on a miniature scene. And I have a couple of plans for that. I just basically used an old shoebox, and I've started putting together like a little house or a little scene that I'm gonna work on. And ultimately, I think my plan was to just kind of make this just for the hell of it, just kind of do whatever. But I have also been contemplating in my head making nutshells. So like that book that I've talked about previously, the Nutshells of Unexplained Death, I have contemplated making my own nutshells because it would be an interesting little project to do, and also I think ultimately it might end up helping me a little bit with one of my writing projects, because it involves mysteries, and I think getting in a visual on how I'm picturing the crime scene would actually help me write it better, and also work on the solution a little bit better and explain everything more succinctly, because description is something that I struggle with a little bit. So having a visual aid to that would probably be incredibly helpful, and also just interesting, but also inspired partially by the creepy aesthetics and also partially from the podcasts that I've been listening to. I have decided to undertake a couple of other projects, and one is making a Victorian mourning bottle, like a tear vial, basically was what they would be. So I've been kind of working on creating one of those currently, and I also have a kind of like little jewelry, antiquing jewelry box thing, a jewelry box thing that I'm making, that I'm decorating and kind of like antiquing a little bit, and I've been working on that as well. And then, because I am an absolute crazy person, but I got this idea in my head this week, and I just could not get the idea out of my head, so I've decided, fuck it, we're gonna go with it. I splurged on one of those wooden buildings at Michael's. I got the castle. And my plan is to decorate the shit out of that thing. Like, everything. Like, all the painting, making like flooring, making little items for it, furniture, everything, making the people. I've got some like wooden doll things left over from a previous project I did last winter. So yeah, my plan is to basically do that, just make and have that as like a pet project and something that I can work on. Because I'm finding that doom scrolling is my absolute worst enemy right now. It is not doing anything for my mental health but angering and upsetting me, and that's ultimately not good, because it's not helping me be present in the moment to take actions in any way, when all it is doing is filling me with dread and rage. And so it's not helpful in that sense. It's not helpful to my overall ability to fucking sleep or not worry about things. And it's just not great. It's a time waster, and I feel awfuler afterwards. So I've been trying to be a little bit more mindful of it and just take like 20 minutes a day to maybe set aside to double check on news and updates and things like that. And then otherwise try to keep my hands busy, because if my hands are busy, then my brain might be busy, or at least my brain is not thinking about that, it's possibly ruminating on other things that are much better spent. So yeah, castles, you guys, castles and Victorian crafts. That's what we're over here. Murder scenes, I guess that's what we're working on right now. Fuck it. Other than crafting, I've also been doing a lot of reading. This has been the summer of the Lady Hardcastle series. I have read everything in this series so far. I just got this one, The Beast of Littleton Woods. It is the latest book. It came out this year, which is sad because now I have to wait months and months for the other one to come out. But yeah, this has been the summer of the Lady Hardcastle series. Yeah, it's also been a weird summer for me reading wise. I feel like I haven't really been reading in genres that I normally read or focus on during the summer. I've been mostly reading those, and then here and there with other stuff, other mostly random things. So it's been a weird reading summer, but I'm at least kind of reading. What else have I been doing? Writing? Not so much. I will have talked already about how my writing has pretty much gone down the shitter after working on that writing program. I'm trying to get back into it at least. I'm at least doing some more ruminating. But my real problem currently is that I can't help but keep getting ideas for other stories and other things that are not related to my current active writing projects, which is so unhelpful. But I'm still writing these notes down for these other things that I want to tackle at some point, but I'm trying to focus on my current active things. Because I need to finish something, you guys. I need to fucking finish something. Other than that, walks. We've been trying to go on walks. The weather has been questionable on the weekends because it's either been way too fucking muggy and hot out to do much of anything, or it's been storming. So it has been kind of hard to do like walks, but we have gone on a couple at our local park, and that has been enjoyable. If we can't get out there, we've at least been doing a walk around our like neighborhood. I just went on one today, mostly to get the mail, but also just kind of get outside, because I haven't been out much this weekend, that kind of thing. I'm really hoping that maybe next weekend the weather won't be like too wicked bad, because I'd really like for us to go for a walk, whether at our local park or maybe to the shore or something like that, just to get outside and do something. And otherwise, video games. I have been playing more video games than I normally do. My husband and I, off and on throughout time, we will play Stardew Valley together. So we do like the co-op version, and we both own like a farm thing, and we work on that together. So normally I play it solo, but it's really fun to do it with him, and it's really fun to look at our priorities as far as like this goes, because he is extremely organized, and he is very particular about things, and he's very up on like this time spent doing things, and very particular about getting things done in an organized, efficient manner. And I'm all over the place. Like, I'm like, okay, I need to get this done, but I need to get that done. And so he is very much on the production and money making and crops and everything we need for other projects, like the coal and the, all the stuff that we need for other things. He's very much detail oriented in that aspect, and meanwhile I am very much like, yeah, we need those things, but I also need to clean all of this shit. I need to get down to the mines because I need to donate things to the museum and make us some more extra money, and I also need to cultivate our relationships with the community. So I'm giving people presents, I'm talking to them, I'm doing things, I'm visiting neighbors. So it's just fun to see how we differ in tackling this game. And otherwise, we've both been playing Mario Kart because because he ended up getting the new Switch, and so he got the Mario Kart World. So we have been playing that. We've had some family over to play Mario Kart World as well. We've just been having a lot of fun with that. I am really terrible at it, quite terrible, but it is still pretty fun, and I actually finally came in second, which was, it felt like a huge achievement to me because I'm usually not that great at it overall. I like playing as Luigi, but I've also found that I really like playing the penguin guy too. He's really cute, and I like the dumb poses he does at certain parts in the game. Otherwise, what else? Oh, I started playing Lake, which is a cozy kind of game, but it's a weird one. So it's like you go home to your hometown in like Oregon, and you haven't been there in years because you ended up going east to go to MIT, and then you've been working, it looks like maybe in either Boston or New York, you've been working there for like a kind of computer programming company or games and stuff like that. And your parents are going on like this vacation trip or something like that, and you've agreed to come back to cover for your dad at the post office for a couple of weeks. And your parents are now talking about retiring to Florida, and you are finding that the drudgery of your job is finally getting to you, and you're kind of starting to get burnt out, and you're liking getting back to the people that you love. Things have changed a lot, but things also haven't changed, so it's kind of weird. So it's like you're getting to know the area again, you're reconnecting with people, you might have a romance possibly. There does seem like there's underlying things happening, but you're not really getting any payoff for those underlying things. It feels like there is some disquiet, but you can't quite investigate or can't quite touch it, which is one of my problems overall with the game, is that I feel like there's a mystery going on, but I don't have any ability to figure out what the fuck it is. There isn't any investigation that I can do. There's not really any, I mean, I can explore, but I can't really do any of that investigation. I can't really dig further into what is going on. There doesn't seem to be that many options for relationship stuff. It seems like there's only 2 people, that maybe 3, that you could potentially have a relationship with them if you so chose, but it's like it seems to be very carefully worded, and it's just, it is definitely an interesting game, but I think that's part of my problem, is it doesn't feel like there is that payoff. It feels like there's thoughts to make things more like there is an underlying disquiet within this area, but you're just kind of existing in the moment and you have no course of action on any of it. I mean, you can say things in a couple of different ways, but you don't have any investigation or exploration that you are doing that seems to ultimately matter overall to the outcome of the game. It doesn't seem like you're really diving into more. I guess I would have appreciated it to be more of a mystery, things that you're uncovering have a darker edge to it maybe. Have like a Scooby-Doo fucking underlying storyline. I don't know, something other than just what that it is. I understand that it's like a cozy game, but it's just weird that it feels like there's like this, like I said, this underlying stuff, but you're just kind of existing in the moment and you're not able to look into it any further. And that's like, if you didn't want it to be that, if you just wanted to stay cozy, why'd you put that underlying stuff anyway? There's no point to it ultimately. And my only other problem is that it is on the Switch. It does not run well on the Switch. I have had several glitches happen, and I've had to have the game shut down, or the game has shut down on me before I saved, which was unfortunate because I had to do some things over again. At one point I ended up having to restart the entire game because it had the weirdest glitch and it just fucked everything. And the details are like here and there. You can tell that this game is supposed to be really gorgeous, but the frame rate is really fucked on it. It does not run so well on the Switch, even though it looks like it is technically on the Switch. It's just not moving fast enough so you can really take in the beauty of the game, which is a shame because it looks like it is supposed to be incredibly beautiful. It is set in a rural area in Oregon, and there's like a lake and mountains and everything, and it's just not as pretty as it could be, and again with weird glitches, which sucks, I guess, because I've seen visuals of this thing and it looked really cool, and part of what attracted me to it is because it looked kind of as cool and as beautifully done as my favorite game, which is What Remains of Edith Finch, which also is in, wait, that one's not Oregon, that one's set in Washington. But yeah, it's a shame overall. I do still have to finish playing it. I'm interested to see what the payoff for it is, but so far it's just, there hasn't been, I'd say it's mediocre as far as like games that I've played are. We'll get into scents. We'll get into scents of the season, I guess. Scents, just the usual thing. We've had neighbors doing bonfires, barbecues, you know, the usual scents of the season. We haven't really been to the shore that much at all, which is a shame, but we are going to be near there not too long from now, so that'll be wicked nice. And then just being out and about. I love being out among the trees, in the woods, breathing in that piney scent. It is something that I find incredibly soothing, and I just love that. Other scents, I guess, mostly have to do with like food that we've been eating, but otherwise, I guess my perfumes and things. I haven't really been doing incense that much, or candles, really, to be completely honest, this season. But my perfumes are the one. My main perfume of the season has been this Mango Tango Twist. I don't know how to explain how this smells exactly. I guess it does have an underlying mango scent, but it's very kind of fruity and spicy, and I really love it. And then my other one, these were part of like a summer set from several years ago at Bath and Body Works. This is Pink Lemonade Fizz, and it's got kind of the same scent, but it's a little bit sweeter. It's not as like kind of spicy and intense as like that one. And then another one that I really like, but I haven't been using it as much this year, is Coconut Lime Breeze, because it is very coconut limey. This is more what I consider a vacation-y kind of beachy scent. And then there is Bali Mango, and this is, it says, the Escape Collection from 2013. This was my shit back in the day. When I first moved to Massachusetts, this was exclusively the scent that I wore all the time. So every time that I wear it now, it reminds me of like 2013, the year in general. And it's funny because this also has a similar kind of scent to Mango Tango Twist, except this one's a little more sweeter and fruitier overall. But yeah, those have pretty much been what I have been wearing so far this summer. And as far as like scents go, that's pretty much it. Then last thing we can talk about, tastes of the season. What have I been like eating, drinking, etc. I ended up having to mostly give up coffee. I usually would have a coffee in the morning, but I ended up a couple of months ago needing to start on anxiety meds, and I found that I can no longer have a cup of coffee in the morning after I've had my anxiety meds, because it seems like the caffeine kind of negates some of the effects of my medication, and it kind of increases my anxiety overall. So unfortunately, I haven't been really able to have my customary cup of coffee in the morning before I go to work, which has sucked, frankly, because I, for years, have felt like I need a cup of coffee in the morning to get my day started and to make me functional. It's been a lot of willpower in the morning, getting up and going to work. I am so tired. I'm doing it. I have kind of gotten around it in the way that I have a soda around lunchtime, because if I end up feeling, because I don't know for certain if soda has less caffeine than coffee, but it definitely feels like it does to me internally, like it has less caffeine overall, because I'm not finding that it's giving me any more anxiety than usual, and I'm also having it into the afternoon, so if I am going to end up having any anxiety, at least by the time it starts happening, I'm home for the day. So what I have been drinking mostly has been Coke or Cherry Coke. Has pretty much been the vibe, although just getting groceries, I ended up getting some cranberry lime juice and ginger ale because I like mixing those together and making like a virgin cocktail, because I also can't really drink that much with the anxiety meds either, which is unfortunate. So yeah, I've got mocktails now and I'm being more selective about drinks. And otherwise, let me see, Italian ice. We've been eating a lot of Italian ice because it's been so hot, and that's like a nice way to cool down. There were a couple of days where I just was so fucking hot getting home from work, and I would instantly get home and plop on the couch with an Italian ice just so I could, like, in front of the air conditioner, so I could internally and externally cool down before I was able to, like, go on with the rest of my life. I just got some popsicles though, because I want to use the popsicle sticks for projects, and I figured, fuck it, I can also eat popsicles because it's still summer and popsicles are delicious. Let me see, Ben & Jerry's. We've had some Ben & Jerry's here and there. Dublin Mudslide is back, and that is my absolute favorite flavor of Ben & Jerry's, so great time. Let's see, my husband has been making some homemade lemonade here and there, and honestly, I love lemonade, but I think homemade lemonade is where it's at. It's just so tart and delicious, and I'm a sour fiend, so I just really, yeah, I really love lemonade. Let me see, what else have we been up to? Trying every current Doritos flavor that's out there. We've pretty much tried all of them, I think, except for the sriracha one. Both of us, I think, are a little scared of sriracha, so we don't really want to eat it, just because I know I at least have kind of tried it, and it was definitely beyond spicy for my particular palate, so neither of us really want to buy a bag of chips that we're probably not going to be able to eat. But we've tried the other Doritos flavors. The pickle was really good. Like, I really loved the flavor of it, the perfect amount of tangy, but my god did my tongue hurt afterwards, because it is to the point of being like too dangerously tangy. So unfortunately can't eat those, but we really like the taco flavor, the late night taco flavor. That's the one we currently have right now, and the cheddar one. Spicy sweet chili is, of course, always like one of the best flavors. What else? There's like another flavor that we were super into too. We really liked. But yeah, we basically, all the new Doritos flavors, we've been kind of testing them out over the summer, and finding ones that we really like. We've also, on our movie nights that I talked about, we're watching whatever, we also have started a tradition now of having it be nacho night. So my husband gets like one of the big old cookie sheets, lines it with tinfoil, and then just we prepare like beef nachos with like cheese and guacamole and either mild pepper rings or pickled jalapenos, and what else? Sour cream, salsa, guacamole, onions, hamburger. Yeah, it's delicious. And it's kind of really messy, and we don't do it that often, but it is, I kind of like that this is like a tradition that we've started now, is when we are planning a specific movie night, on the weekends or something like that, we make a special kind of messy but fun dish for it. I like that that's like a tradition that we've started now. So what else? I think the last thing has been just being totally obsessed with tomatoes and avocados this summer. Just really craving tomatoes and avocados. So we've had avocados here and there because we like to make our own guacamole rather than buying it, so we make it. I honestly, for lunch today, I just basically cut up a avocado and I put salt, pepper, hot sauce, and we didn't have any lime juice, so I put lemon juice on it, and that was part of my lunch today, and I fucking loved it. Yeah, I like avocado just like that. Sometimes we have avocado toast with like eggs and stuff like that. Yeah, I've just been like wicked into that and wicked into craving tomatoes. Like I love tomatoes in general, but I've been eating a lot of them. And I like them in salad. I like having just a handful as like a snack, like the cherry or grape tomatoes. And we also, a couple of times this summer, have gotten, I guess it was technically caprese. Basically, we just get baked tomatoes and slice them up and then put slices of mozzarella on them and then drizzle Italian dressing on top, and it's bomb.com. Great. And it's like, honestly, in the realm of things that we could be snacking on, probably just a little bit more healthier than eating the Doritos. So yeah, that's been my summer vibes, basically, this year. Pretty low-key overall. We haven't really gone that many places. We ended up going to Vermont to see my family, and we're planning our like vacation like for our anniversary and stuff like that, but we haven't really done anything else. We haven't done any day trips, we haven't gone any places because I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety overall, so it's kind of deterred me from really wanting to go out and do a lot of things. But my husband did have a boys trip, but other than that, we've just been kind of homebodies this summer, and that's okay, considering it's like in this economy, can we really do a lot of things? Not really. But yeah, it's been a pretty chill summer, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because I have, like I said, a lot of stuff that we have been doing that has been nice, and I also have all these projects that I'm working on, are planning on, which are a lot of fun. So yeah. Let me know what you guys' summer vibes have been like. Are you into some of the same things that I've been into? What else have you been into? And I hope you've been having a great summer. We're now into part with your August. Crazy. But yeah, I hope your summer's been really enjoyable. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for always watching. If you're new here and you would like to subscribe, please do so. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.